podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Sunday, October 25th, 2020. This is episode 1740. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast comes to you from TWiT's LastPass studios. Securing every access point in your company does not have to be a challenge. LastPass unifies access and authentication to make securing your employees simple and secure, of course, even when they're working remotely. Check out LastPass at lastpass.com/twit to learn more. This episode of the Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Mint Mobile. Get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $30 a month and get it shipped to your door free. Go to mintmobile.com/techguy. And by Melissa. Like expired milk, 30% of your customers' data goes bad every year. That's money down the drain. Visit Melissa's developer portal for free access to data quality APIs, demos, and code samples. Freshen up your sour data today with 1,000 records cleaned for free at melissa.com/twit. And by IT Pro TV. If you're looking to expand your IT career or improve the skills of your IT team, you need IT Pro TV. Visit itpro.tv/twit for an additional 30% off all consumer subscriptions for the lifetime of your active subscription. Use the code TWIT30 at checkout. Hello. How are you? Hey. Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers and the internet and home theater and digital photography and smartphones and smart watches and all the digital rigmarole of our modern lives. Yes, that's what this show's all about. Now you know. That's what we're talking about here. Phone number if you want to ask a question, make a suggestion, complain bitterly about the state of the world is 8888 Ask Leo, 888-827-5536. That's a toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, you still can call, but it's a little more complicated. You have to use Skype out or something like that, and then dial the number, and it has to be something that can call an outside phone line, etc., etc., etc. It's complicated, as they say. It's complicated. Their website, you should probably know about that too. That's a good thing to have in your back pocket. That's the place where all the stuff from the show goes, so you don't have to write anything down on your lonesome. You just go to techguylabs.com, techguylabs.com, and you'll find it all conveniently hidden away. No charge, by the way. That's free. It's open to all. techguylabs.com. What is the latest, you might ask? What is the newest, Mr. Tech Guy, if that's what your name is? What is the latest news? We talked about the iPhone, right? We don't have to talk about that ad nauseum. You're either getting it or you're not. If you're getting it, you're getting excited. And if you're not, then you don't care. You're happy with whatever you have. There is some question, of course, about whether the iPhone's camera will best the camera of the, I guess, the current leader, which is the Pixel 5. I don't include Samsung in that bunch. I know a lot of you do. Mike B in our chat room, he says, my Samsung S20 is the best camera ever. But I think most camera nuts, photography nuts, we'll have to ask Chris Marquardt, our photo, but most of the camera nuts I know say, they too much processing in the Samsung. Both Google and iPhone do a more natural look. And yet both are using the state-of-the-art in computational photography to get more detail, to get better low-light performance. Number of people, including Marques Brownlee, the YouTube star, are now weighing in saying, even the old Pixel, even the Pixel 4 or 4a has a better camera than the new iPhone. Isn't that shocking? I think they're both, I have to say, I think they're both so good at this point that it's really now, even the Samsung, it's really now a matter of a personal taste, the opinion, not so much the actual quality of the image, just what you like better. All of them do some significant processing. It's just whether you like more or less and how well they do in low light. I'm looking forward. We haven't seen the iPhone Pro Max, which is going to be the best of the new iPhone 12 bunch because it's got the biggest sensor. It's got it's actually it's kind of a cool technology. Optical image stabilization. And it does it by when you jiggle the phone, because it's handheld, it jiggles the sensor, the chip, to match your jiggles to smooth it out. And that's something really I don't think we've ever seen that in a phone before. We've seen it in high-end cameras, but to have that in a phone, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And the iPhone, is just out of the box, I think gives you great images. So we'll see. We'll see. What else? What else is going on? Facebook and Twitter CEOs are going back to Congress to testify a little bit more. This was the week that the Department of Justice decided to go after Google for being a monopoly, for antitrust. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. We've been waiting for this for a while. Everyone knew that the Justice Department was going to file this suit. And there's some merit, I have to say. There's some merit in the suit. Because Google is ginormous, and it does use its advantage in search, about 80% market share in search, to help it, I think, in other areas. For instance, in advertising, it both makes the market, sells the advertising, and places the advertising. Functions that could all three of them be separate, but Google does it all, and that kind of might tilt the playing field just a little bit in their favor. But Google's quick to say, well, but there's other places you can go to buy ads. Come on, we're not the only one. So it'll be interesting to see. Of course, you remember the last big antitrust lawsuit against tech, which was almost a little more than 30 years ago, with the Department of Justice going after Microsoft. They don't go after many tech companies. They don't go after many companies at all. There's only been one big antitrust action in the last 20-some years. And that went out with a fizzle. That was the Time Warner CNN merger with what was it, AT&T? I can't even remember anymore. That was really, I think, kind of a little bit politically motivated, I have to say. And it went by the wayside pretty quick. You could say there are those who do this is politically motivated as well. If that's the case, well, I wonder what will happen. I don't know. We'll see. But as I said, I think there's some merit in the case. I don't think anybody would, and the EU is probably going to pursue their own action in this regard. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. And yet, what do? You can't break Google up. Do you make Google sell YouTube and the shopping and just stick to search, maybe sell advertising? I don't know if that's a good solution. I have to say there is one benefit, just right out of the box. And you're seeing a little bit of this. As soon as these threats of a lawsuit appear, companies start to shape up a little bit. They get a little bit more self-conscious about some of the predatory things they might be considering. And I think you could point to one pretty clear example. Anyway, that's my guess. With Apple, because they're also one of the companies people are looking at, especially with the regard to the App Store. One of the companies that really is mad at Apple is a little company called Tile. You know about the Tile? It's a little Bluetooth. It looks the size of a square poker chip, and it's a Bluetooth tracking device you'd put on your keys so you don't lose them, and you could find out where they are and stuff. Tile's CEO testified to Congress a few months ago saying, Apple's going to put us out of business because they're about to do their own Bluetooth tracker. And for all the people using iPhones, Apple's solution will be better. We can't compete because Apple controls it and won't let us do the things we need to do, but Apple will be able to do all the things they want to do. And it's my theory, I could be wrong. Apple's been I think, has had these AirTags ready for almost a year and still hasn't released them. Didn't release them with their iPhone announcement. We thought maybe that would be the time. And I think it's they're kind of hyper aware of antitrust. And they may say, well, maybe we're a little vulnerable on this. And after all, we're not going to make any money on AirTags. Let's keep the evil eye of Sauron pointed over there towards Google and Facebook and away from us so that we can continue to do what we're doing in the App Store and other places. Already Europe is getting mad at Apple. They don't want to incur any more anger. So maybe, this is an example. And maybe not a bad thing. If teachers paying attention, the kids in the classroom are a little more orderly, right? Even if she doesn't throw chalk at anybody. So I suspect that there is a somewhat beneficial effect to the Justice Department going after Google. I don't know if they're going to prevail. I don't know even if they do prevail what they're going to propose as a remedy. It's not easy. You don't want to break up one of the most successful tech companies in the world. And if you look at our stock market anyway, most of the gains in the stock market has been suffering a little bit. Our technology companies, you got to be careful. The economy kind of relies on this, especially now in the time of COVID. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. We can talk about that. I know mostly people want to say, why isn't my printer working? Or how come my email isn't sending and that kind of thing. We can talk about that too. 888-827-5536. I'd love to hear from you, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It's a miracle, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you the unbreakable Kimmy Schaffer. She is our phone angel, as always. Hello, Kim Schaffer.
Hello, good morning. I'm rolling forward here.
Well, well, of course you're rolling forward. You're sitting on a ball, and you got your desk has wheels, and the whole thing it could go sliding out the door at any moment.
Yes, that might happen.
It's all right. It's all right.
That would be the exciting point of the day, I'm
It
sure.
would be. It's happened to me. I sit also on one of those yoga balls. I guess
I hear you're deflated today.
I am. I have to get a pump in here. They don't. I don't allow anybody in my studio, so it's up to me now. Used to be John, our studio manager, would come in here from time to time with a compressor and pump me up. But no, it's all up to me now.
Yep. Learning to be self-sufficient, are you?
Sinking into the ground. Well, once, actually twice, these yoga balls I sit on, because I've been sitting on them for 15 years, popped.
Video.
There's video. Yeah, there is, of it popping.
I've seen it. And I when I'm doing this, I'm going, when am I gonna fall on the floor?
It was you know what? You're going to be okay, because what happened was my engineer at the time said, Leo, why are you spending so much money on those balls? You could get some cheap Chinese knockoffs. And I said, okay. And we did. And those are the ones that popped. So ever after, we now buy the Ultra Fit.
Non-breakable.
They're actually literally called anti-burst stability balls.
Okay.
They don't break. And they haven't since then. So
I don't know. It's up for that sounds like a challenge to me.
You'll be sorry. There's the video one. There's the second time it happened. The first time it was only audio. It was a big pop, and it disappeared. That was that was just radio. But then there's a video of me on one, and I thought, oh, this is funny. It's got a little hole. I'll slowly sink down, and I did start sinking, and then the hole turned into a rent, and it went pow, and I'm on the ground very quickly. And
Burke sent me a video from 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's about when.
No, not that. He was at, I think, the electronics show.
Yeah.
And he broke an unbreakable phone.
Oh, that's embarrassing. But if anybody could do it, it's our Burke.
Yeah,
Burke's our fix-it guy.
With his motorcycle boots. He sent that to me, and I didn't even know what I was in for.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yes, it was pretty funny, but it was 10 years ago.
He's the guy who fixes things around here. But I guess if you have the ability to fix things, you probably can go in both directions, right? You're probably really good at breaking them, too. Hey, who should I talk to first?
Let's go to Johnny in Atlanta.
Thank you, Kim. Johnny in Atlanta, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Leo.
Hello, Johnny.
I need you to clarify some stuff, because I'm getting a little confused and panicky here about what's going to happen with Google Hangouts coming up.
Oh, man. You ask me, and I don't even know, because Google, who knows? Google's got its own It lives in its own world. So Hangouts, which for a while was their wonderful all-in-one messaging, would send text messages, but it would also send internet messages, video chat, audio chat. It did it all. I loved Hangouts. They still offer it, but they've been slowly chipping away at it bit by bit. And they said about a year ago, and they say it's still going to happen. They're going to shut down Hangouts.
I know. In January. Right.
Yeah, and then they said this a year ago, but now they're finally going to do it and replace it with something called Chat, which is free. Starting in the first half of 2021, says Google, everyone can begin upgrading from Hangouts to Chat. Not an upgrade, Google. Downgrade. Just let me be clear. Downgrade. To ensure a smooth transition, we'll help automatically migrate your Hangouts conversations. You know what that means? I'm reading between the lines. That means not only is it going to happen, it's just going to happen automatically. You won't even have a choice, along with contacts and saved history.
What would be the difference between Google Chat and Google Voice then, as far as the two apps? There's an app called Voice.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what's going to be the difference. And I believe I have the same setup you do. I have multiple phones where I have a Google Voice, which really is my Google Fi.
Yep. So Fi, we're a little bit of a different group of people than the regular Hangout users. So Fi, which is Google's telephony service, their cell phone service, and I'm a Fi user as you are, all used Hangouts as its text messaging. Fi is going to move us to messages, not chat. And you'll be able to make voice calls and check voicemail from messages, and it'll work on the web, which is nice. See, one of the reasons I used Hangouts and still want to use Hangouts is because I use it on my iPhone, I use it on my Android phone, and I use it on the web, on my desktops. And that way I have universal access to messaging, which is a very good thing. When you make an outbound call on your iPhone, don't you use Hangouts? You get a choice. When you make a call, you can use the phone, the phone service provided by your cell carrier. You can use Hangouts. You can use Apple's Messages. You can use other third-party apps as well. Lots of people use WhatsApp to make voice calls, or Facebook Messenger. So that's
one thing you told me in the past. You publish one number, right, which is your Google Fi.
I give out the only number I give out is my Google Fi number, yeah.
Right. So when you make a call, you don't want people to identify these other phone numbers that you have, right? So, what I do is I always use Hangouts to make the calls so that whatever's identifying me on the other end is my Google Voice number. Right.
That's a good practice, although I think there are ways to make it look like your Google Voice number, even if it's not from Google Voice. But yeah, if you only want... I figure if I'm calling somebody, they can have that number. It's really the public number that I don't want to give out my actual phone numbers. Although because as you and I are both Fi users, we do have one phone that's the real phone number for the phone.
Right. And with all the telemarketers these days, it's like if I don't recognize the number, I get them on all my phones.
That's why I use Google Voice, because I can just say don't.
The number, but I'm not picking up.
I can say don't ring my phone if it's not on my phone book. You can do that now with most things. So you're asking a great question, but I, like you, I'm going down the chute without any idea what Google's planning. God save us all. I'm looking at. They promised this, and I've been dreading it all along. I guess for the Fi users, we're not going to use chat. We're going to use Messenger, Android Messenger.
Messenger?
Google. Yeah.
Okay.
And it will.
And that's going to be our chat and our voice calling?
Yeah.
For iOS?
That's what they say for Hangouts. For Google Fi users, yeah. But, that's what they say today. Who knows? This has been the messiest thing ever. So this is here's an article. Let me see where this article's from CNET. As part of the move, Google said it plans to end Fi support in Hangouts early next year with the same SMS access relocated to the Messages app. Fi users, and this is from the Google Keynote blog, Fi users will be able to make voice calls and check voicemail from messages for web, manage conversations from messages across devices, even when their phone's off, and migrate their existing Hangout conversations. But what they didn't mention is that iPhone users, there's no Android Messenger for iPhone. Beginning this month, we'll provide guidance about these changes and direct Hangout Fi users to messages or the default SMS app on their phone. That's for people using non-Google phones.
Well, Messenger for web sounds like it's going to be a web app where I want to make sure I have an iOS app, right?
Exactly. And as far as I know, they don't have plans to do that. So that will be a gap. So you have an iPhone 2 as well.
Well, yeah, I've got the Pixel 4, I've got the iPhone 10, and I've got an iPhone SE, the original.
Yeah, you're kind of in the same boat as I am with multiple platforms. So I don't. So my Fi is on a Pixel 4, but I have an iPhone I use, and yeah, I know it's really complicated. I'm also
offer iPhone 12 for the camera. I mean the 12 Max.
Oh yeah, I'm getting the Pro Max. Yeah, but would I do that if I weren't the tech guy and I didn't have to? Maybe not. But I have to. Unfortunately, I have to always buy the next iPhone. And if I'm going to buy if I'm going to get the next iPhone, I'm going to get the Pro Max. Yeah, I'm always going to get the one with the most features. So I have to say, I have an SE, the new SE here, and it's great. And for a lot of people, I recommend that. That's why I got it, is so I could tell people, this is a good phone. This is a reasonable phone. Similarly, the Pixel 4a is a great phone. If you don't have the $1,000 that you need to spend to get a Pixel 4 XL or the iPhone 12 Max, then that's a good choice. And so I'm a little nervous, and I have been nervous since they announced this was going to happen, and now it's going to happen. They say this is to comply with new telecom regulations in the EU and the US that start in 2021.
Well, I guess another quick question is, somebody dials my, Google Fi number, right? It rings all my devices, right?
I know. That'll stay. That's the call forwarding feature of Fi, and that is independent of Hangouts.
Okay, good.
So that will stay. Yeah. I don't know. We're in a not such a good environment. There are things to like about Messenger. Messages, I should say, the Android messages. It supports this new RCS technology, which makes it much more like Apple's messages. But boy, the cross-platform is the main point for me, because if I'm carrying only my iPhone, I want to get the messages sent to my Google Fi number, right?
Yes.
You're in the same boat I am. We're just going to have to hold our breath and watch.
Okay, well, I'll keep listening to you.
Hey, it's great to talk to you.
All right, you too, Leo.
Thanks so much. Have a great day, Johnny. Bye-bye. I got an ad to do. Oh, let's talk about my favorite wireless carrier, Mint Mobile. What a deal Mint Mobile is. I mean, really remarkable. I got this from Mint Mobile. I got this great iPhone SE. That was $15 a month. But where Mint Mobile really shines? Their deal. Their deal it's a really, really good deal. $30 a month for unlimited nationwide talk, text, and data plan. That's the word I was looking for. It's their new unlimited wireless plan. Just $30 a month. Unlimited. $30 a month. How much do you pay right now? How much is your soon-to-be ex-wireless provider charging you for similar service? And you can bring your own phone, but if you need a phone, they have a variety, including this iPhone SE for $15 a month. Even if you get a brand new phone and the service, $45 a month is half what I'm paying the big guy without a new phone. If you hate your phone bill and you're ready to cut your ties with big wireless, Mint Mobile has a fantastic deal. Their premium unlimited plan, just $30 a month. Because they're totally online. They don't have to pay for retail stores. They pass the savings on to you. Unlimited talk and text, high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Bring your phone, keep your phone number, or get them to send you a SIM. Keep your phone number, keep your contacts. And, of course, if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. Isn't it time we all broke up with those big wireless companies and their big wireless bills? Switch to Mint Mobile's premium unlimited data plan, just $30 a month. To get your new unlimited wireless plan, just $30 a month and get it shipped to your door free, go to mintmobile.com/techguy. mintmobile.com/techguy. Bring your own phone. They have a little checker to see if your phone's compatible. If it works on the T-Mobile network, it'll work. Or get a new phone from Mint Mobile at a great price. Cut your unlimited wireless bill to $30 a month. mintmobile.com/techguy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It's time for our car guy. He's a low rider in his Mazda Miata, Mr. Sam Abuelsamid, Guidehouse Insights principal researcher, podcaster at wheelbearings.media. And I must say, Sam, I got a very exciting email the other day from the folks at the Ford Motor Company.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They canceled your order?
No. They, in fact, a number of other people did. I saw in the Reddit forum for the Mustang Mach-E. This is the new electric Mustang SUV that Ford's putting out later this year and early next. I got a date that they will start making mine, which is November 23rd. It'll be a Thanksgiving to remember.
Excellent. So when you might get it just around the time that your lease is up on the other car.
Well, that's my question. So how long does it take to make a car these days? A day, right? You just put it on the assembly line. It comes out the other end.
It'll be built. It'll be finished. It's pretty much the same day it started. I mean, depending what time of day. It might be the next day. But yeah, I mean, it takes less than a day to mass produce.
It's kind of amazing.
And then there's there's shipping time, from the factory.
Do they test it? So I've seen it. When they always do a video when they roll off the millionth car or whatever. There's the assembly line. It rolls. Somebody gets in it, starts the engine for the first time. Hope it starts, and they kind of drive it off the assembly line into a parking lot or something, right?
Yeah. So at the end of the assembly line, pretty much every car assembly plant, there's what's known as a rolls test. That's one of the last stages before it leaves the factory. And so basically, you've got there's a chassis dyno mounted in the floor with some rollers. Okay. So the car rolls off the main, whatever the assembly equipment they're using onto the rolls test. They lock it in place. They hook up some connectors to diagnostic ports. And they run through a sequence of tests. Usually takes about a minute and a half. In the case of an internal combustion engine, they'll fire it up, make sure everything's working, fluids are circulating, there's no leaks. In the case of an EV, they'll run it up to a certain speed. They'll hit the brakes, make sure that the brakes are functioning. So there's a whole bunch of end-of-line tests that they conduct. And then if it passes that, then it leaves the factory, unless it's a Tesla, in which case it leaves even if it doesn't pass, it leaves the factory. Fix it later.
We left off some bolts. It leaves the factory. Doesn't matter. But in the case of Ford, one of the reasons I'm buying a Ford, not a Tesla, is I'm presuming they're going to have some nice normal test procedures, and it's everything will be bolted down most of the time. I mean, every car manufacturer has lemons and stuff, but so it rolls off, and then they put it in the lot, and then. What, some car carrier comes and takes it to a boat?
Well, in the case of your Mach-E, it probably won't be going on a boat because it'll just go across land.
So they'll drive it up from Mexico?
Mexico.
Okay.
So they'll probably put it either most likely on a train. That's good. They have rail cars that are set up for transporting vehicles. Yeah. So they'll probably load it on a train. It'll come to somewhere in the middle of the U.S., likely to a staging area. And then the last portion of the trip, it'll go by truck to the dealership.
So it's going to be a ways. It's a week or two before it arrives at the dealer.
It's generally about a week to a week and a half shipping time.
So December
depends a lot on the logistics of where because one of the things that they'll do is usually all the vehicles coming from a factory will be the same type of vehicle. So it'll be all Mach-E's coming on the train from the factory.
Right.
And then at the staging yard, they will mix them up, so you'll have Mach-E's and regular Mustangs and F-150s that go on a truck to a dealership. So whatever's going to a particular dealership.
That makes sense.
Go on one truck.
And we've all seen those trucks driving around and so forth. All right. Well, I don't want to take it up all your time with my petty concerns.
Well, I'm just glad to hear that you actually
got the email.
Got your date. I've been seeing a bunch of these posted this week. And Ford's been doing some road shows at dealers around the country, bringing some Mach-E's to dealers to let people actually have a look at it in person. And so there's lots of reports popping up of people, checking them out, posting their photos and everything. So,
well, a couple of months, Leo will be talking ad nauseum about his new car.
And then next year, you can get the car behind me.
Well,
for
that's
Lisa.
what I want to ask you, because then Lisa's in the market for a new car. And I like this new Hummer, the electric Hummer.
Yeah, so this is the GMC Hummer EV. We talked a little bit about it previously. GM was originally planning to reveal it back in May. I actually saw it at a GM event, an EV Day event that they did at their design center back in March, but we couldn't take any pictures of it. So they finally revealed it this past week during a World Series game. And this is what they're calling the Edition 1. This is what's going to be launching next summer. And they're calling it the first electric super truck. This has 1,000 horsepower.
Wow.
Ridiculous amounts of torque, 3 motors. Goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
What?
It is,
but it's massive.
It's totally ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
But see, I wouldn't get a Hummer because I didn't want the 4 miles a gallon gas tax. Right. But now an electric Hummer may be. Did they say anything about range?
Yeah, it's going to be at least 350 miles of range for this high-end version. It'd probably be closer to 400 by the time they're done.
That's a huge range. So you'd get this. Who would get this besides somebody who just wants to drive the biggest truck in the world?
Somebody who's feeling very insecure about their.
Can you haul? I guess you could haul stuff pretty well.
Yeah,
right?
you can tow stuff with it. It's got a bed in the back.
It does have a bed. It looks like it has a bed. Yeah.
So there's going to be an SUV version as well. Where the back is all enclosed. So this thing is about the size of a Chevy Silverado or Ford F-150. Typical full size pickup truck. And so you've got a bed in the back. There's a frunk in the front.
Love that.
The roof panels are removable. You can stash those in the front.
I like that. I'm looking. It's kind of like a T thing.
Yeah. And the Edition 1, like I said, ridiculous amounts of power and torque, but it's got an air suspension system, so you can lift it up up to 6 inches or lower it down for better aerodynamics when you're driving on the highway. So for off-roading, you lift it up. It's got
I think Lisa would love driving that. I would love to be a passenger in it. It'd be fun.
One of the interesting features is the crab mode. Back in the early 2000s, GM offered a 4-wheel steering system on their full-size pickup trucks that, especially when you're maneuvering those things in a parking lot, very hard to, because they're so big, long wheelbase, so it can be difficult to maneuver. So the 4-wheel steering system they offered before, at low speeds, it would turn the wheels in opposite directions, so you tighten up the turning circle. And this one does that too.
It's like a clown car.
Yeah. But then when you're off-roading, you put it in crab mode, and it turns all the wheels in the same direction, so you can literally drive diagonally. If you're stuck in a trail, you can kind of almost drive sideways with it.
That's hysterical.
And because this thing is so big and it's kind of hard to see out of, there's 18 cameras around the thing, including a number of them that are in the floor pan that are, behind, plastic windows to protect them. So you can see what's underneath, around and underneath the thing. So if you're, going through a trail and coming up on a boulder, you can see where it is. You can see all the stuff that you can't see from inside. And this thing costs $112,000. And the Edition 1 is already sold out. First year production is sold out.
It was sold out fast, like a half an hour, right? It was really quick.
Yeah, something like that. Well, they haven't said how many there are.
Right.
They won't say how many. So, that could be 20 vehicles.
Right.
It could be 1,000 vehicles, or it could be 10,000. But yeah, they sold out quickly. But there will be other versions coming over the next couple of years with lower amounts of power, not quite as ridiculous as this thing.
Oh, my goodness. Well, there you have it, the Hummer 2, ladies and gentlemen. And that is Sam Abuelsamid. He's my car guy, Guidehouse Insights principal researcher. If you love cars and vehicles, you got to listen to Wheel Bearings, his podcast. That's at wheelbearings.media. And he joins me every week to talk about cars. Thanks, Sam. Have a great week.
You too, Leo.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I don't know. I think Lisa wants a sports car. But she wouldn't mind, I'm sure, having
she said in an email.
Yeah, giant.
She asked what was available.
A giant truck. We've thought we should have a pickup. It'd be useful to have a pickup. So I don't know if that's.
Well, I told her she should really take a look at the Audi e-tron GT.
That's a pretty nice car. Yeah.
Production starting at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's a 4-door, but it's based on the Taycan platform, the Porsche Taycan platform.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Really nice design, and I think she'd really like it.
I think you're right.
She likes. Obviously, you guys like Audis.
We love Audis. Yeah, the Audi people were sad when we called them, and they said, the lease is up. You want to buy a new Audi? And we said, we're getting a Mustang. They were very sad. He said, well, what about the e-tron? So I think I could see Lisa in an e-tron, especially if there's a sportier kind of model.
Yeah, the e-tron GT is I think would be the one for her.
Okay. It's going to be expensive, of course.
On a separate note,
yes.
it'll probably be somewhere around $100,000.
Yeah.
It'll be cheaper than the Porsche.
Yeah.
Separate note, I just wanted to let you know, I recently replaced my wife's Chromebook. She's been using a Chromebook for the last 6 or 7 years, ever since her last MacBook died.
Good for her.
And she really enjoyed it, but the battery died on the one she had, which was an Acer, which did great for a number of years. And got her the Lenovo Flex 5, which is a 13-inch.
Nice.
It folds around 360 degrees, so you can tent it or use it as a tablet mode, and really nice 1080p display, backlit keyboard. The keyboard's really good, and it was only $400.
Very nice. Oh, that's good. Maybe I'll make that my new recommendation, because the Acer's the spin's a little. It's $200 more. It's a little pricey, so that's good to know.
I looked at the spin, and they're hard to find still. The spin 17s, but the Lenovo Flex 5 Chromebook is really good. It's an Intel i3 processor in there.
Perfect.
Good performance. It's only 4 gigs of RAM.
That's all you need. That's fine.
It's good enough for what she's doing.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Well, thank you for that update. I appreciate it. I'm glad when you said I swapped my wife out, I was a little worried, but I'm glad you finished that sentence.
Yeah, I would never do that.
No, of course not.
It's irreplaceable.
You know what? This e-tron is beautiful. It's exactly what she wants. She had an S5, which she loved. This is really sporty and beautiful.
I really appreciate the e-tron GT.
All right, I'm going to push that on her. She's going to say it's too expensive. I'm going to say, I don't care. You deserve it.
She's worth it.
She's worth it.
She keeps the lights on.
She does. Thank God. Somebody does. I'm actively trying to put the lights out. Hey, we've got you booked for a TWiT next week, I think?
Yeah. Karsten originally had me for this week, then realized he had overbooked. So I'm going to be on next Sunday.
Can't wait. We'll see you Sunday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Always fun.
Thanks, Sam.
All right.
Take care.
Talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo, the number. From Hatfield, PA, Jerry's on the line. Hello, Jerry. Jerry. Hello.
Leo, can you hear me okay?
I hear you now. Thanks. Yeah.
Leo, I'm a little concerned. I'm hoping you can put my mind to rest.
Uh-oh.
Last night, I was shopping online at Amazon for some welding material. And I went over and I ordered an item, and it said, well, if you order $25 worth, you get free shipping.
What?
So I said, okay, I can buy more. So I went back, but there's no back button to continue your shopping.
Okay.
And I can't find it. I've looked on the internet. There's no way of doing this. Well, I tried several times. I said, well, the heck with this. I'm not going to pay for shipping twice for they even put the same box and send to me.
Right.
So I went to eBay. Now, I never go to eBay.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at eBay, and all of a sudden, items I purchased off of Amazon or looking for are on the bottom going across my screen.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Now, how in the hell do they do that?
It's probably not eBay doing it. It's probably Google. But so this is something that has bothered and in some cases creeped out people for some time. And this is I think the chief reason people are so concerned about privacy on the internet. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I understand it kind of is creepy. It's like, well, I'm not on Amazon anymore. How do they know what I bought on Amazon?
I'm using ExpressVPN.
Yeah, right. But remember, ExpressVPN Now you're using a different IP address, but there's plenty of other things that identify you as you, including your decision to buy and so forth. So Amazon knows who you are. It doesn't matter who you're using, right? And once you log into eBay, they know who you are. It doesn't matter what VPN you're using. They don't need to look at your IP address. There are ways to track you. There's a couple of things that could happen. I'm not sure what. Amazon could absolutely be selling marketing information to eBay. That's in the privacy policy. If you look at it, it'll say something like, and most privacy policies do, we share information with third parties. And then they usually give you some silly justification like, to improve our service. Like, we're going to make money and that'll make our service better. To improve our service, we share your information with trusted, sometimes they'll say third parties. Well, that would cover selling that information to eBay. So that may be one way it happened. Another way it could happen is Google, and this is why Google, by the way, is under, one of the reasons Google's under investigation, but Facebook does it as well. You've probably seen as you visit sites, even on Amazon, where it says, you know, share your purchase with Google, or share your purchase with Amazon, or Facebook, or Twitter. All of those, in order to enable those buttons are actually little buttons that link back to those sites. Those are what we call social tracking buttons. And so when you visit a site or even purchase something, when it says, if you see a button that says share this on Facebook, Facebook's getting the information right there. They know you're on that page. And then Facebook may also be selling that information to eBay, or the ads you see, it depends where those ads are coming from. In fact, go back to eBay and look. There'll be a button somewhere on those ads. If it's Google, it'll say Ad Choices, but there'll be a button somewhere on those ads. This is something that recently companies have been forced to do. They don't want to do it. That'll say where where this ad's coming from, and what information they're using. So there is generally sharing of information among websites in a variety of different ways. And it's almost always, we use the umbrella term ad tech. It's technology used for advertising. It's almost always with the intent of serving you up ads for things you're interested in. So you're looking at an oxyacetylene tank and on Amazon, and that information is then shared out to somebody, and that somebody will then show you an ad or a recommendation on eBay for an oxyacetylene tank. So that's...
I am a commodity, right?
Yeah. Now, I have mixed feelings about this. On the one hand, I want to see ads for stuff I'm interested in. So, I mean, I don't care to see ads. I'm not, buying barbed wire. And when I see ads for barbed wire, I go, well, I don't know why this is taking up space on my page. So I don't think customizing the ads is necessarily a bad thing. Part of the problem is it's not done well. So, for instance, I'm often recommended stuff that I just bought. It's like, well, I just bought that. Why would you suggest I buy it again? And that's a failing in the system. So if you're privacy concerned, you use a VPN. That's a first step for sure, but it doesn't do everything. You might want to start using a browser or a browser plugin that blocks some of that as well. I use, for instance, Firefox. Firefox will sandbox any Facebook like buttons or share buttons. All of that Facebook stuff is blocked.
Well, I use Firefox also.
Okay, so and it probably isn't Facebook. I also use a plugin, an extension for Firefox called uBlock Origin. There's one called uBlock. That's not the one I recommend. It's uBlock Origin, the original, by Gorhill, Gorhill. And that you can add as an extension. That does further tracking blocking. So Firefox is, reason you use Firefox, you're obviously very privacy focused. So the reason you use Firefox is it has strict blocking. Go into your settings, turn on strict, much more so than Chrome or any Chrome-based browser. It's really good at that. And then you might, if you want ad blocking and other tracking blocking to happen, use uBlock Origin as well. The two combined are going to give you a pretty good protection. At some point, what a lot of people do Now, I have mixed feelings, as I said, about this. First of all, I don't think ad tracking is the end of the world. And second, everything I do is ad supported. So I like ads, and I want you to see ads, and I don't want you to block ads because that's how I make my living. So let me give you that disclaimer up front. And it's something to keep in mind is that that's true probably for most of the sites you visit. If you're not paying for a site, they have to monetize somehow, and usually it's with advertising. That includes Google and Facebook.
Okay.
So you got to keep that in mind, that you don't want to undermine stuff that you really like. And one of the things I like about uBlock Origin, there's a big button on it that you can say, don't block anything on this page because I want to keep these guys in business. But even more so, that what sometimes people do is they'll use technologies on the router. You can put ExpressVPN on the router, but there's other things you can do on the router. There's a Raspberry Pi program called Pi-hole that does this, that you can run as a router that'll protect everything in your network. I also use NextDNS. NextDNS changes your DNS lookup so that it's going through NextDNS, and they'll block a lot of advertising and trackers because all of these trackers have to use the DNS system as well. That's Next.
We're really getting into the weeds, aren't we?
We are. Well, I'm giving you all the tools, but I'm also giving you the talk, saying, just consider you could be putting some of your favorite sites out of business. But, when you're buying something on Amazon, you're giving the money. You don't need them to also sell your information to other people. So I don't have any problem with that at all. So there's lots of ways to block this stuff. And you're asking exactly the question that really stimulated all this was, how did they know?
Yeah.
How do they know? And it feels creepy to people.
New Mustang.
Pardon me?
About your new Mustang?
Yeah?
If you go on YouTube and look up Scotty Kilmer.
Okay.
He's an old mechanic, and he's still working on cars. He gives you the good, the bad of the older cars and newer cars.
Nice.
You know that Volvo was made by China?
Yeah. They were purchased by a Chinese company, I know.
Yeah. And he had something to say about your new Mustang.
Oh, is it going to make me sad?
You may want to check it out.
Scotty's probably one of these gas guys, right? So he's not going to like an electric vehicle, but I will. I'll absolutely check it out. I absolutely will. Hey, I appreciate the call. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. Scotty Kilmer, how cars work. I'll check this out. I appreciate it. 5 things you should never do to an automatic transmission. Uh-oh. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers and the internet and home theater and digital photography and smart phones and smart watches and, all that jazz. 8888 Ask Leo is my phone number. If you want to call and talk about tech, well, I'd be honored and privileged to talk to you. 888-827-5536. Kathleen's next on the line from Sherman Oaks, California. Hello, Kathleen.
Oh, hi, Leo. Nice to
Hi.
talk to you.
Nice to talk to you. Thanks for hanging on.
Okay, well, thanks. I'm helping someone at work who's not very computer savvy to. We have to update to the latest Zoom, like 5.3 and up, and they don't know the password on their Mac when it prompts the admin password to update the app.
Right.
And they're not able to update. And I'm trying to help her out. And I was given some instructions by our tech person. He can't help her because it's not a company computer. So he just gave me these instructions about getting into the terminal from the utilities menu. And does that actually work? I mean, that I can get in, if I follow these instructions, can I get into her computer without losing her access to her files and everything?
I don't know what his technique is, but there are ways to do this. First, though, why doesn't she have the password?
Because she's older and
she forgot it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she wrote, I don't know why. It seems like she's had to use it sometimes. She has some passwords written down and her memory's a little failing. And,
I understand that. So there's a couple of ways to do this. if she remembers her iCloud password, she has an Apple account. Everybody does.
Well, yeah, that's what the Apple ID, right?
Yeah. If she remembers how to do that, she can use the iCloud password to reset her password or create a new password or just log into her system and then use the login for your computer, unless there's other people using, in your house who might be malicious, the login for your computer does not need to be super secure. That's a different kind of login. The login to any public account like your iCloud account or your Facebook or your Google, that should be really secure. But logging into your computer, unless there's people around who might use your computer or try to guess it, is not necessarily need to be super secure. So she can make up a login that's a little easier for her to remember. But
right. Well, I'm gonna maybe write it down. I don't think she knows her iCloud account either. I know.
Yeah, if she's already forgotten.
She has an iPhone and a Mac, so she should have one. But I don't think she knows what that is either. It's kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm thinking of going over there and with the mask on and trying to do it myself.
Well, there's then what you should read before you go over is there's a Apple support document that tells you all the different ways, and there's about 5 that you can reclaim your login password.
I got that. I called Apple support yesterday, and I had already found that one myself.
Yeah, HT202860, HT202860. And so those are there's quite a few different ways to do it.
But okay, I mean, but so when it says that, I mean, when I go into the terminal, it says yes. Yeah, it says go in the terminal lines, type reset password, and then it says select the volume with an admin account.
No, yeah, that's not what you want to do at all.
Really?
Yeah, that's not how you do it.
Oh.
So
That's what the tech guy.
Yeah, it's not one of the methods Apple tells you about. I'm not sure. He's maybe doing. What is he up to?
I know.
let me think about this. He's changing. Yeah, maybe. So what was the? I mean, I don't want to get in the weeds too much here, but what was the command he suggested?
In the terminal line, type reset password, and then select the volume with an admin account, usually your main hard drive. Choose the account, and then choose that account. That's what I'm wondering if I'll know which one it is. And then enter a new password, retype it, and type your password hint and click save.
Yeah, I mean that might work. That seems like this is why that login password isn't all that secure. But how are you going to get to the terminal if she can't log in? You're going to use it.
I'm going to have to because you start up from you start up from command and R combination.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Recovery mode.
Okay.
The recovery mode. So
I do see this. I'm looking at a CNET article.
Yeah.
You forgot your Mac password. Here's how to get back in. And it does use this reset password command on the terminal line. I've never seen this before. So I've never used it before.
I can't believe I'm telling you something.
Well, but there's a million ways to do it, aren't there? It just shows if that command exists, though, it's not a very secure system.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what you're saying, that it isn't that. I mean, I guess
it doesn't need to be that secure, but gosh, that seems like a pretty easy way to bypass it. The other thing you could do is you could go to the Apple Store and they could do it for you, and that might be the way to do it.
But you have to take the computer into the Apple
You do,
Store, right?
Yeah, you do.
And they have like a huge iMac, like the big one.
Oh, that's not going to be much fun. You're so sweet of you to help her, I have to say.
Well, thanks. I might go there today and maybe I'll.
So if you go into recovery mode and you click on utilities, oh yeah, I have seen this. Okay. Okay. So the Command R puts you in recovery mode, and you don't even have to use the terminal. There is in the menu on the recovery mode a reset password. Yeah.
Menu.
So that will change the password for everybody.
All right.
But that's okay.
So I won't lose her.
Nope, you won't lose anything.
I won't lose access to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's actually this is one of the Apple recommended ways on that Apple page. So Command R puts you in recovery mode, and then you're gonna, if you click on utilities. Yeah. You can do. Actually, I don't think you have to do that reset password. I think the reset password tool is in the menu now. That might be an old. This is an older command. I think it's in the menu now. So yeah, this should work.
They have a 5-year-old. Their thing is about 5 years old, though. I think so. They might have it. A menu. All right. Well,
actually, that's the easiest. That's a good way to do it. That's a very easy way to do it. It lets you just reset the password from the recovery mode window, and that'd work.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I actually do know about that one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I'll give it a whirl. Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay. Now, if she probably did not turn on File Vault. If she turned on File Vault, that will make it a problem because you won't have the ability to unlock that. That's why I recommend File Vault. That's the encryption tool. So no bad guy could do this. But she probably didn't turn it on, so that's fine, right? And then then give her a password. Well, yeah, you're going to remember it. I do that with my mom.
I'm going to write it down.
I do that with my mom. I get all the passwords she's using. I keep them in my LastPass, my password vault. And then when she calls, as she will inevitably, it says, honey, I can't get it. I'll say, oh, I know how to do this. You ready? Here, we'll do it. And you're a good person to do that. I think that's great.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. Nice to talk to you, Kathleen. Yeah, we'll put a link in the show notes to the various ways Apple recommends. But that is, I had forgotten about that one. That's probably the easiest one. In recovery mode, there's a reset password command. That's really all you need. So what you do is you go to sleep. So let's hop in bed. Should I get some sleep? Yes, I want to sleep. And then in your sleep, Luna, the dream tapir, comes. Here comes Luna. See, she's a tapir. Search. No, I want to revisit a dream. Please select the dream you wish to revisit. Biden HQ. Yes. Luna the Dream Tapir is sending me to dreamland. Hello. Here I am. I'm in Biden HQ. But I should really face front, right? Okay. No, not that. Take a picture. Okay. Not that. Pop. No, frame there, yeah. No, I don't want that. And then I don't want pop either. No. Okay. Dramatic. Film. Oh, I can do black and white. Monochrome. Antique. Normal. That's what I want. Sharp. Pop. No. Okay, now I want to zoom in. I want to change the angle. There we go. Okay, now come say hi, Joe. Come on up. Come on. Come on, Joe. Come say hi. Oh. Probably be a good time for me to mention Melissa, our fabulous sponsor. I know a lot of you have mailing lists. You're in a business where you've got, customer records. Maybe you work somewhere where you've got, customer service reps who are entering in addresses. Did you know that about 30% of customer data goes bad every year, just like milk goes sour, goes bad every year. That's what Melissa specializes in. They've been doing it for 35 years. They started with correcting zip codes or adding zip codes to addresses. Now, with Melissa, you can not only make sure that you've got the correct address, you can add emails and phone numbers to fill in the gap, add public data such as property and mortgage data, marital status, social media handles. Make sure and of course, verify your addresses, emails, phone numbers, and names in real time. Make sure your customer data is accurate. Last thing you want to do is send stuff to the wrong address or send duplicates to the same address. Melissa also will match and consolidate your records with their matching and dedupe tools to help you uncover, merge, and purge hard-to-find duplicate records. You want an accurate 360-degree view of your customers. And Melissa works in as many different ways as you do. Flexible deployment. You could, of course, upload your data through their secure FTP site, download the cleaned data. You can do it on-prem. You have your own cleaning software right there. You could use it as a web service. They have software as a service delivery options too. And of course, a complete API. And a lot of people build Melissa into their customer service software or their shopping cart software so that when, because frankly, your customers will also make mistakes, right? When they're entering data. You want to make sure you're getting the right address, the right phone number, the right mailing address. And that's how Melissa works. It's really quite amazing. Over 10,000 businesses trust the address experts to be their foundation for data-driven success. By the way, during our crisis, our COVID-19 crisis, Melissa is supporting communities and qualifying essential workers with 6 months of free service. See if you qualify by applying online, melissa.com/twit. Don't put up with sour customer data. Try Melissa's API in their developer portal. It's easy to log on, sign up, and start playing in the API sandbox 24/7, and 1,000 records cleaned for free, too. Melissa, melissa.com/twit. The address experts. Don't put up with sour data. Get it fresh, clean, ready to use. melissa.com/twit. Thank you, Melissa, for supporting the Tech Guy podcast. Thank you for supporting the Tech Guy podcast by using that address, melissa.com/twit. Now on with the show. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. Let's talk tech. Back to the phones we go. And let me see who we have here on the line. Next is, they're all raising their hands, Paul in Delaware, Ohio. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Leo.
How are you, Paul?
Great. Fourth-time caller, long-time listener.
Well, who's counting after all?
Yeah. Hey, just a quick story. Back, I guess it was 20 or so years ago, when I saw you on TV, you gave me a hint on a chat room, and it was called Live, Livve.
Yeah?
And I met my girlfriend on there, and I've been with her for 16 years.
It's my fault. Yay!
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You've shaped my life.
Oh, well, I'm so glad. That's wonderful.
The best thing, and it was a pretty quick. It was a 3-year chat. It was like live from. It was out of Pennsylvania, but it was. I got it off one of your.
Is it still around?
No, it was gone. I think 2001. It closed its doors. I don't know why, but it was the greatest place. It was family friendly, music rooms.
Oh, neat.
It was my magical time on a computer.
And you met your lady there. I love it. Did you kind of flirt for a while online and then get together in real life?
Absolutely. She's from Ohio, so I ended up moving from Maryland to Ohio.
Oh, that's great.
17 years ago, we're still together, and it's a great relationship.
Oh, that's great.
Leo.
Hey, well, congratulations. I did not have nothing to do with it. I just pointed you in the direction, and you took the reins, and you went.
Yeah, you said, there's gold in them there hills.
What can I do? That's wonderful. What a nice story. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
What can I do for you, Paul?
Someone gave me an Apple Cinema Display 24-inch monitor.
Aren't you lucky?
I don't have any Yeah, I'm not sure yet if I'm lucky or not, but it has 3 wires coming out the back. There's a USB, a mini display port, and then this Apple dongle thing, and they're all male connectors.
Right.
And my question is, I don't have anything Apple to plug it into. When I plug the power cord in, which is the 4th cord that comes out of the back of it, it doesn't light up. Should it? Should it light up?
Yeah, well, light up, maybe not. No, in fact, I don't think the Apple displays have a light on them. So that's...
I mean, will it turn on? Will it turn on like a...
there's no on... This is Apple, remember. So there's no on-off switch. There's no LED saying it's on. You just have to plug it into something that supports mini display port. Now, you're going to plug it into a computer, I presume, right?
Yeah, I have a Windows computer. It has a mini, not a mini.
Yeah, you'll get an adapter. Yeah.
So I'm going to get the adapter. Okay, so that's that question.
Yeah.
That's that question. Okay, the second thing is you always, when you recommend TV boxes, be it Amazon's or whatever, Roku.
Right.
And then you recommend the Shield, and then you say, but they don't get all the apps.
This is something I never really understood. But
they do, though.
Well, they do and they don't. So here's the deal. As they say, here's the deal. It's a 3-way relationship that has to be negotiated. Okay. Remember when Roku came out, or rather HBO Max and Peacock came out, they weren't on Roku because they hadn't made a deal yet. So every manufacturer, in this case NVIDIA, has to then negotiate with 2 different parties. They have to negotiate with HBO or Showtime or whatever premium channel you want. But then you also have to convince the local cable company. So I'm Xfinity, right? And there's 2 ways it works. If you buy, it's actually changed now, but if you buy HBO Max, pay for it monthly, whatever that is, $10, $15 a month, then there's no problem. It'll work just fine. But you can also get HBO Max with the permission of your cable company if you're paying your cable company for it. So
it's not the Shield, it's the actual cable company with Shield.
It's the relationship between all 3. So first, HBO has to say, yeah, okay, you can run it. That's the problem. That was the problem with Roku, right? Then secondly, if you pay for it, it'll run fine. But if you want to have it by permission of your cable company, because you're already paying for it. And you'll notice that when you first sign up for this, it says, okay, now you have to log into your cable company to give access. And
well, I get you.
And some cable companies just are jerks.
Right.
You know?
I thought you were saying the Shield was the reason why, and my Shield gets everything actually.
Right.
And it might be my cable company lets that happen.
It'll get everything if you pay for it, but if you want to go through the cable, well, actually, no, I won't say that. It won't get everything if you pay for it, because even people who pay for HBO Max, until Roku made a deal with HBO Max, couldn't get HBO Max. So there's this.
Well, I get
Yeah, you do now. They've made a deal. Right. So it's a changing landscape. I
gotcha.
I have found with my Shield, and it just really varies. I can now, you're right, I can now get HBO Max. That must have made a deal recently. But there are other things I can't get or I couldn't get. So that's the problem. Roku seems to be the most compatible, but again, it's not always. Apple seems to be pretty, I would say my cable company, Comcast, seems to have a good relationship with Apple. So I've not found anything that I can't sign into from Apple. So you see what I'm saying? It's complicated.
I see what you're saying. They're not aggressive enough to go out and get these cable companies or pay them to.
It's not even that. It's not even that. It's the cable companies. Look, if you're a content provider or if you're a cable company, your relationship with these streaming devices is complicated, because on the one hand, what Comcast really wants is for you to buy everything through them, right? And they don't like you lose. Yeah. They don't want you to use an NVIDIA Shield or a Roku or an Apple TV, but that's not the way of the world now. So they're slowly coming over to the notion that, all right, we're going to be your internet service provider, and we'll just charge you for that. And notice that price has gone up. So it is a moving target. I love the Shield. I love the Shield, and there's a lot to be said for it. I think over time it's gotten more compatible with more services. I haven't tried lately, like in the last week or two, but I remember there were a number of services I just could not access. But you obviously, you can. Who's your cable company?
Not Roadrunner. Wow.
Wow. So Wow may be more open-minded than Xfinity. What a shock. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo's the phone number. Rick is on the line from Palm Springs. Hello, Rick.
Oh, how you doing, Leo?
I am great. How are you?
Oh, fine. I'm sending out a SOS to you. I've been listening to you for over 25, 30 years, and I call you every 5 or 10 years when I...
Well, wonderful. It's nice to hear from you. Did I help you meet your girlfriend, too?
Oh, no. I'm 75 years old.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. We've grown up together, haven't we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, I had a little situation come up in relation to Facebook. I had my 97-and-a-half-year-old mother over here at the house about a couple of weeks ago, and my daughter and grandkids flew in from Atlanta.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, and I posted some pictures, Leo, on Facebook.
Nice.
Everything was fine. And then I went back and was looking at it on my phone, the pictures, and I see a familiar picture of my mother, but it has a caption around it, and it said something about queer and proud. And then it said something else about love.
Oh my goodness!
And
Facebook, what are you doing? Facebook?
I don't know where it came from, Leo. And then when I got home, I said I got to look at this on my laptop so I could see it better.
Yeah, was it there?
Yeah, and it was there.
Okay.
I called my daughter, and she was at the airport getting ready to fly out. And I told her, I said, "You asked where did this come from? This picture, I know the picture. I had posted it about 6 months ago of my mother, and
well, now did you go in and look and see if you could delete the caption?
Yeah, and I told her she was at the airport, and I said, "Well, only I said you don't know anything about it." When I was talking to her, and I said, "Well, I'm going to delete it, and I'm gonna wait a few minutes because I told her I wanted her to look at it to tell me what's going on."
Now, it is possible, isn't it, that your 97-year-old mother decided to change teams? Is that possible? No? Okay.
But I looked to see, you know how you look when something is posted, you look to see who it looks like did the posting.
Yeah.
And it said Rick's Group. My name is
Oh.
Rick. I do not have a group. My only group I'm with the Vietnam Veterans of America is about the only group that I'm associated with. And this one said, and I tried.
Well, Facebook. Okay, so, and by the way, I'm not a member of Facebook, so this is going to be a little fuzzy because my memory is fading, thank goodness. But it does, as I remember, make a group for you automatically. So it's your own group because Rick has an account, so Rick has a group. So you don't have to join it or anything. It just makes it. And you can add people to that group, but you don't need to. So there is, I'm thinking, there's two possibilities. Was there a frame on the picture that this was a part of? Or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I guess
So it's a filter.
Yeah, I guess that's
a good way. So as you probably know, you can do this on your own images anytime. You can add a filter that says, proud veteran of the Vietnam War, for instance, and have American flag. You don't have any. There are a variety of these filters that they're not captions, but they're actually filters that add a frame around your picture. And it sounds like that's what she got. Was it rainbow flag and stuff like that?
It was something like that, yeah. And I'm trying to figure all this stuff out, and I'm looking at the...
Yeah, this was something during Pride Week a month or two ago that Facebook added so that you could put this on your images. Somebody did it, probably by accident, I'm thinking. The picture is only visible to... First thing you should do is go and look at that picture and see what the privacy is on it. If it's public, you might want to make it friends and family only.
Well, let me ask you this, Leo. Where it said Rick's Group.
Yeah.
I tried to click that, you know what I mean, to see if it would take me somewhere, you know, and it was unclickable. You know, I couldn't click it or anything.
Yeah, they're just saying anything you do here will be in Rick's group.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean there was a group created. It's just automatic. As I remember, it's just automatic for anybody who's on member on Facebook.
Well, and I called my niece. I asked her.
Well, that's the question is which of your, when you post something on Facebook, there's a couple of things. You posted the picture initially, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
About 6 months ago, it was just a picture.
Yeah. So when you post something on Facebook, you'll notice there's levels of privacy that you can set on that post. It can be public. It can be friends and family only. It can be you. You get some choices in there. And then you'll also have some choices about who can modify this picture. It may be your mom, accidentally did it.
Oh, no, she doesn't do anything at all. Yeah, you know what I mean, on Facebook or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does anybody have mom's login or your login?
Well, I guess, I don't know if somebody has my login or not.
Well, you might want to change just in case.
Yeah.
You own that picture because you posted it. So I don't think anybody could put a frame on it. Only somebody with your account could. So the first thing I would do is maybe change your Facebook password. This is not a bad idea. And have you put two-factor on it yet?
No, I think I should.
Yeah, if you've been listening to me, Rick, for a while, you know that I tell people whenever you can. I know it's a little less convenient, but it really stops the bad guys in their tracks.
Yeah.
Wherever you can, put on two-factor. And then what'll happen, the first time you log into Facebook on any particular device, it'll send you a text or it'll ask you for that six-digit number from your authenticator. There's a variety of ways they do it. You can use Facebook messages as your authenticator. Turn that on and change your password just in case. It's no harm, no foul, just in case.
Yeah, Leo, I heard you talking about two-factor for the longest time, but I'm kind of old school hard head, and I hadn't done it until the VA they started using it for everything.
That's right.
And I started thinking, this is not so bad.
No.
We've been talking about all this time.
No, listen to Rick, everybody. You might be a little intimidated at first or say, I don't want to do all that. But it's not so bad. And let me tell you, it is the single best thing you can do to protect your accounts.
Yeah, I feel very secure with the VA once I got used to it. When they would. Yeah, but like Leo, just one more thing.
Sure.
You always talk about the passwords, and I've got passwords out the yin yang and books and everything, and I hear you.
Well, that's a terrible place to keep your passwords. I got to tell you, Rick. Do not keep passwords in your yin yang. Keep them in a password vault. That's the place.
That's what I need to do.
Yes.
I need to do what you have been preaching.
I have been preaching that. Yes.
And now, if I do that, what is it, password manager? I think it is that you always talk about.
LastPass, you're thinking of?
Oh, LastPass, yeah. If it's the LastPass, say like with bank accounts and things like that, is it any problem logging into your banking sites and things like that?
No, that's the whole point. It makes it more secure. And then, by the way, yes, Rick, now that you're used to two-factor, turn it on with your bank as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So LastPass, they're a sponsor, but there are many other ones. There's 1Password. There's Bitwarden. I can go on and on. I won't.
I like to go with the one that you.
I like LastPass. Yeah. Now this is going to be, another hurdle, another step up, a little more complicated. So don't be intimidated. But the idea is it's keeping your passwords safe and remembering them so you don't have to keep them in your yin yang. Leo Laporte, Big Tech Guy. I am so pleased to talk to you, Rick, and I thank you so much for your service. How long were you in Vietnam?
13 months in November 67 to November 68.
Wow. That was a tough time back then.
Yeah, the good old Tet Offensive.
That's what I was thinking, the Tet Offensive. Yeah, wow.
I was just a baby then.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you made it out. I really am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I think it's kind of funny that somebody put that frame on. I hope it wasn't a hack. It probably was just one of the teenagers having some fun.
Yeah, well, you guided me for many years on this. You got me into the cell phone. I think Republic Wireless and all that.
Oh, bless you, Rick.
About 15 years ago, and it's been just great being with the kind of low cost.
Good. You saved some over those years. You saved some significant money, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And how's your mom doing? She's 97.
Well, Leo, I got her. I got her Android phone, and she walks every single day.
Bless her.
Around, she's in assisted living, but she's almost adjacent to where I live.
Bless her.
In the housing area where I'm at.
Oh, so she's in Palm Springs too. The family's in Atlanta, but she's in Palm Springs.
Yeah, actually, I'm in Sun Lakes.
Sun Lakes,
real close in the area.
Yeah.
And so, like, what she does, she gets her Android phone. She takes her walk with a walker, and she streams music, some of the old music, some of the old.
I love this. I love this. Well, bless her heart. That's awesome.
Yeah, every day, and she's learning how to. She's putting in passwords on her.
That's so great. Oh, she sounds like she's a hoot. She sounds like she's doing great.
Well, Leo, I actually took video on the 4th of July of her line dancing.
Oh my goodness!
And she didn't know that I was
line dancing.
Holy! Frank Sinatra was singing New York. New York on the.
Well, who can't line dance when you hear that? That's the best. Oh, that's.
It must have reminded her of what they used to line dance.
Yeah.
She was doing this.
These little town blues.
52 seconds.
Don't post that on Facebook without her permission now.
Well, she knows I always do. You know?
I love it that you have a family group on Facebook. That's a really nice way for everybody to stay in touch. I think that's great. Does she use it too?
No, but I just post for her, you know.
Yeah, for her and for the kids. They want to see it too, Grandma.
The kids are across the United States and grandkids, and they all get a big kick out of it, you know, and everything.
What a pleasure talking to you, Rick. I really appreciate your call. Thank you.
And thank you for all the patience and help that you've given old timers like us, you know.
Well, you make it all worthwhile. Talking to you makes it all worthwhile. Thank you, Rick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have a great day.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo. If you were tuning in for Chris Marquardt, something's happened to him. I don't know. We can't get a hold of him. He's probably out there taking pictures. You know how Chris is. In fact, he would want me to encourage you to take pictures. Probably it'd be next week. We'll review our assignment. What was the assignment? I think we're up to the letter. I want to say the letter S. Was it smoke? You know what? I know what happened. They changed the clocks in Germany, but we didn't change them here in the States. Chris fell back. So maybe we'll hear from him next hour, John. Check next hour. I bet he calls in next hour. He thinks it's only it's early yet. That's what happened. Time change. Okay. Smoke is the assignment if you want to participate. It's not a contest. It's really just an excuse to get out there and take pictures. It doesn't matter if you do it with your phone or a special camera, whatever you got. But take a picture illustrating the word, the idea, smoke. Upload it to Flickr, our favorite photo sharing site, flickr.com. It's free. And if you're if you're on the Flickr, if you're a member of Flickr, then you can join the Tech Guy group, a big group, 13,000 plus people in there. Join the Tech Guy group and submit your smoke photo to the group to let them know it's a submission for our assignment. Just tag it with the word TG Smoke, Tech Guy Smoke, TG Smoke. Tag it. Renee Silverman, the moderator there, she'll say thank you for your submission, and then when Chris joins us, I think it'll probably be next week or the week after, he'll pick 3 to take a look at and review. And that if there's a prize, it's getting picked by Chris Marquardt, our photo guy, as a perfect photo. That's a pretty high praise. Smoke the assignment. Back to the phones we go. Norbert is on the line from Escondido, California. Hello, Norbert.
Hey, how are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. I do have an issue with my 2017 MacBook Pro.
Okay.
It seems to turn off when my battery gets a little bit below 60%.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit odd. I've tried downloading some tools.
Does it just does it give you a warning at any point saying the battery's low, or does it just die?
It just dies.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things you can do to check the battery status on a MacBook, and that's probably what you want to do. It's a little young to have battery issues, but, there's no reason, things happen, and perhaps the MacBook's battery is...
utility as well called Coconut something.
Coconut battery is very good, yeah. And what does it say?
And it says that it's good and no issues. So I have an appointment. I have an appointment at the Genius Bar next week, but I wanted to call you.
That's interesting.
Armed.
Yeah. So you can also go in the About This Mac. You can get more information, and you can also look at your battery there. What you're going to look at is the number of cycles. So all lithium-ion batteries have a limited number of cycles they can go through before they'll stop holding a charge. Typically, it's around 500. And if a cycle is charging it all the way up and charging it all the way down. So what does Coconut say your life cycle is?
I think it was about 115 or something.
Yeah, see, that should be good. It also, Coconut or, the Apple tool will tell you what percentage of capacity is still available. Did it say 80 or 90%?
84.
84 is very good. That's about what I'd expect, right? If you had 500 charges and you've used 100, it'd be down about 20%. So it's exactly where you'd expect it to be. It could be that there's something else wrong with the chemistry. That's only the Apple Store can tell you that.
Okay.
It also, if it's dying, and is it always at the same point in the battery? It's always at 60%?
Yeah, it's usually it's like 50 to 60%. I just notice it when it just dies, and it's typically under 60%. And
if you restart the machine, will it not restart?
It does go and gives me the Apple logo, like I'm restarting it again. So it does start up, but I do have to put it on power, I think.
Okay.
I put it back
so
on.
you can't. So it's not a case of the machine just kind of, for some reason, resetting or quitting, because if in the battery life's still 60%, you should be able to turn it on and it would boot up all the way, but it's not, right? So that still tells me there's a battery issue. It could also be, and the Apple Store might try this, it could also be that the circuitry in the Apple, in the firmware, is misinterpreting what it's getting back from the battery. And that could just be a software issue. Instead of a hardware.
I did the SMC.
You did do that? Okay, because that's one thing you should try. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried that. But I just wanted to make sure when I go there that I had the right questions asked, because I know they're going to say, well, your battery's fine, and it is based on what we're seeing here. But I have a sense there's still some sort of, like you said, some sort of interaction with the software and the battery.
Apple's really good. One of the things I really like about Apple, a lot of companies, the tech support would say, well, it's your fault or some silly stuff.
Right.
But Apple, if you say, no, it's shutting down at 60% consistently, they will not brush you off. They're not going to say, oh, well, the battery's fine, so there's nothing wrong with it. They will say, yeah, there's something wrong. We got to figure that out.
And I'm at the tail end of my Apple Care, of course. It's coming up in December.
That's fine. Now's the time. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I'm glad you have Apple Care. You'll get extra support. Now, a couple of things. So you did reset the SMC. Make sure you tell them that, the system management controller. You could also clear the pram. Remember how to do that, Command Option PR.
Okay.
And when the machine beeps at you, keep holding it a couple of times for a couple of beeps. That just clears the programmable read-only memory that keeps track of settings and stuff. And it could be there's a weird, stray setting in the pram. So clear that. But clearing the SMC and the pram are there are not many user-friendly things you can do, and that's 2 of them. So just tell them you've done that. Make sure you back up your drive before you bring it in. They'll tell you that too, because if they have to replace something, they may replace the hard drive as well, and then you'll lose everything. So make sure you have a good backup of everything on your system.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to Mac products. So
good man.
My development machine. Machine anyway.
You're not messing with that. What kind of development do you do?
I'm just getting interested in. I'm an IT manager, but I'm getting interested in like Python. So I'm taking Coursera, some Google stuff out there.
Good.
And I want to give a shout out to your hands-on Mac podcast. I really find that one enjoyable.
Thank you.
As well.
It's just a little short thing every week on little, advanced, mostly advanced tips on the Mac. But good. I'm glad you like that. Thank you.
It's great.
It's a labor of love. I'm a Mac guy from 1984 all the way back to the beginning, and I really think that they're really fun machines. I think Apple is going to probably swap out your battery, but they may also they have some diagnostics they can do. In fact, there are some built-in diagnostics. We actually covered this on Hands on Mac that you can run. You might run those too before you have to go into recovery mode to do that. To run those before you bring it in, just to say, I've done this, this, and this. For one thing, it's not what it's going to do is establish your bona fides as somebody knows what he's doing. Think about the support people. When you walk in the door, the support people don't know if you're the most, simplest user, beginning user who doesn't know anything about the machine, or the most advanced. And what you want to do when you're having a conversation, I always do this when I'm having a conversation with support, without being a jerk, but you want to establish that, no, I kind of know what I'm doing here. So you don't have to go through the preliminaries. Is it plugged in? Do you know how to turn it on? That kind of thing. Don't be a jerk about it, obviously, because the Apple geniuses have lots of power. What you want to do is ingratiate yourself with them. And,
that's probably good advice.
Yeah, and show them you know what you're talking about. Hey, good luck. Call me back next week. Let me know, because that's an interesting conundrum. I'm not sure what's going on with it. But you obviously you're in touch with all the conceivable issues, and these things happen. And Apple, especially if you have Apple Care, is going to do a good job for it. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk about computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, augmented reality, virtual reality, real reality, all of that stuff. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number, 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. 8888 Ask Leo. We've been having fun today. Chris Marquardt was missing in action last hour. And I realized, in Europe, they set the clocks back earlier than we do. We'll be setting the clocks back Sunday morning, a week from today. But they set it back, I think, last night. So I bet you Chris thinks he didn't realize. So I think we might hear from Chris Marquardt. That's my theory this hour. That's my theory, anyway. Our photo guy, 8888 Ask Leo. But you know what? We've been having fun talking. I'm glad we got some extra time. Benny's on the line from Pasadena. He's next. Hi, Benny.
Hey, Leo.
Welcome.
So, thank you. So, for some reason, my laptop's not recognizing me as a user, and like a whole different desktop comes
It's so
up.
funny how we go through on this show, like common... Every show there's like a common theme, and today's common theme is I can't log in. I can't log in. So you have a Windows laptop?
I do, yes.
And it shows you, does it when you start it shows you a picture that you recognize of your account?
Yes.
And you type the password and it goes
Well, it takes me to a whole blank Windows desktop.
Oh.
Like it's treating me like a new user.
Oh, but you are logging into your account. It's just messed you up.
Yeah, it does recognize me as an admin.
It didn't, by any chance, you didn't just upgrade to 2004, did you?
I don't know.
Recently, yeah. Sometimes Windows does it overnight without your knowledge. Because this missing profile issue was, as I remember, an issue with the 2004 update.
Oh, I've updated to Windows 10 like a couple years ago.
Yeah, and then Windows 10 updates itself every 6 months. This could be what happened. This is kind of a known problem because it sounds like you can log in, right? But when you log in, you get this brand new user profile. It's not the user profile you thought. And this has been kind of an issue for a while with Windows 10.
The good news is a friend of mine was able to retrieve my documents.
Oh, good. Yeah, because he was able to get in the hard drive and do that, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Because it still recognizes me as an admin. But I was just wondering if I can get back to where I was, because that's where I have all my bookmarks and stuff.
Yeah. Well, so yes, you can. So I suspect this came from the update KB 4549951. A lot of users, I'm reading now from mspoweruser.com, a lot of users reported that after installing this update, Windows 10 replaces their user profile with a new one.
Yeah.
Worse, it can also delete documents, pictures, and other important files. But here's the good news. Neither does it delete your data permanently, nor does it permanently change your profile. Now, this is what Microsoft says to do, which I hate, which is, just create a new profile and copy your data over. For some users, get this, restarting Windows more than 6 times brought the data back.
Wow.
This is such a stupid bug. I'm looking at the article came out in May, so this was the 2004 update. But in May, according to MS Power User, there's still no official solution. I bet you by now there is. Just to reassure you, this is apparently, it's not happening to a lot of people, but it is happening to some people with Windows 10. And the spring update, which is almost certainly what happened to you. I would try, it seems like a stupid solution, but I would try rebooting it 6 times just to see. Just to see, right? Maybe wouldn't it be funny if that worked? Apparently it does for some people. I'll put a link in the show notes to this Windows 10 missing profile bug at mspoweruser.com, or you could Google it. In my opinion, this is when this happened. The reason I remember this back in May, I was so upset. I said nobody should ever use Windows again. It's just ridiculous. But that's maybe an over statement. You could look. One thing you could look is to see if you go in your Windows update, see if you have that update installed, KB 4549951, because if you do, that apparently is related to it. It came out in April of this year. I'm looking through various articles about this. One thing you could do, and I think this is the case for you because your friend was able to get your files back. The original profile is still on your C drive in the users folder, but the data is in a file ending with .000 or .bak. Again, this one is from windowslatest.com. If you restart Windows for at least 6 to 8 times, I shouldn't laugh because this is serious for you. I don't blame you, but that's a crazy fix. I do remember some people, this was more serious. They lost their data, but that's not you. You were able to get your data. So chances are your profile's still there, but it's been renamed. You might browse around and look for a file with your name or your login name and a changed extension .000.back. It's a bug. Apparently a known bug in Windows 10. Thank you, Microsoft. The good news is you haven't lost everything, and you're not going crazy.
Oh, okay. When you say reboot, you're just saying, you mean restart it.
Yeah,
right?
Press, yeah, exactly. Do the restart and do it 6 to 8 times. If this works, this is about as silly as getting a chicken and swinging around your head and doing a little dance step. But if it works,
yeah,
apparently it does for some people.
I don't have a backup, Leo. As far as external drive, maybe you can quickly speak on an external drive.
Yeah, get one now. Get one.
And then put in a plug for iDrive.
Yeah. Get iDrive, but get an external drive. You can go down to the big box store or order it online, Newegg or Amazon. Get one that's bigger than your internal drive if you can afford it, because that way you'll be able to keep multiple copies of files. Windows has its own excellent backup tool that will back up to that external drive. iDrive will do it as well. The cool thing about iDrive, they have a local and a cloud backup, and you really want both. You want one that's right next to your computer, but you want one that's not in the house in case of, a serious disaster. There are also very good third-party backup tools. And one of the things I always like to do when I install Windows and get everything just so is I use image tools. Microsoft has one. They call it the Legacy Windows 7 backup. But there's image tools that will make an image of the whole drive that you can also store on that external drive. And that's nice for quickly reinstalling Windows. You don't need a Windows install disk. You can just blast that back on. So this would be a good time to make a backup. But you said your friend was able to get all your data back, right?
Yes. Yes, that was the good news. It recognizes me as an admin, and my stuff is in there. It's just your normal user account got munged up, and it's still there. That's the good news. Yeah, it's almost like they wanted to impose Microsoft Edge on me. Did you suddenly get Edge? Yeah, that's part of the update. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, well, it wasn't that particular update, but yeah. Yeah, this is a little annoying. It didn't happen to everybody. Then it would have been a major disaster. But it happened to enough people that it's kind of frustrating to me. Do you have a brand name you can recommend for the external drive? Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Western Digital has them. Seagate has them. Just get one. They're all pretty much the same. Get one that's affordable, simple USB drive. If you want the best speed, USB 2 is kind of slow. USB 3.1 is a lot faster. Thunderbolt 3 is even faster. So you can choose, but they go up in price as well. And speed isn't the ultimate because you're going to, backup is going to happen overnight anyway, so you don't really care about it. Yeah. All right. Hey, I'm sorry it happened to you. The good news is all your data is still there. And this was, in a way, this is great because it kind of reminded you, and now you're back. You're going to do a backup, right? So this is kind of that's good. That's right. Got you thinking. It's the people who have lost data. It's always them that are the ones who are careful about backing things up. Hey, I'm sorry that happened to you, Benny. I'm really sorry it happened to everybody a lot of people who use Windows. I don't know what the answer is. I mean, a lot of us want to use Windows. Windows has a lot of really nice features. It's kind of the default for business. But come on, Microsoft. I mean, you can. Look, it's an operating system upgrade is a scary and dangerous thing, and is often going to cause problems. Maybe it's if I give them the benefit of the doubt, it's because there's 1.5 billion Windows users, and so even if a very small fraction of them have a problem, it's a lot of people. Still, get that. You can't let things like that happen. Bugs are one thing. Loss of data is another. It really is unacceptable. The Tech Guy Show brought to you this week by IT Pro TV. If you listen to the Tech Guy Show, clearly you have an affinity for technology. You might even be a little geeky. Maybe you've been thinking about a career in IT. I tell you what, here's one job category. There's always going to be work in IT and networking and security, desktop support. It's just endless, isn't it?
And it's not getting any easier. If you love this stuff, if you're interested in an IT career, but maybe you're not sure where to start, IT Pro TV is the place to start. Your one-stop shop. First of all, it's the best online IT education platform there is. And you can learn about every kind of field in IT, whether it's government, managed services, healthcare, education, finance, insurance IT, every aspect, security, of course. One of the best things about IT Pro TV, they make learning IT fun and entertaining, which helps because means you're going to retain the knowledge better and you'll be able to apply it in real life. See, a lot of times I think people go to tech academies or they buy the study books just to take the test, to pass the test, to get the cert, to get the job. But all of that great knowledge they stuffed in there falls away. With IT Pro TV, you get the knowledge, you get ready for tests. In fact, you can even practice. They have in the premium membership, you can have practice exams, but the knowledge stays. And in fact, so many professionals already working in IT use IT Pro TV to keep up, to learn new skills, to get in new fields, to get a better job. Lots of companies use IT Pro TV to keep their teams trained. If you're a manager looking to develop the skills of your IT team, IT Pro TV is the place to go. They have every vendor, every skill you need for your IT team training. They're the only official training for CompTIA. That's the A+, Security Plus, Network Plus certs. They have all the courses. But they also have Microsoft IT training, Cisco training, Linux, Apple, security, cloud, everything. 5,800 hours of on-demand training. Plus, they do it live Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. There's 5 studios running, so they're always adding new training, and you can watch live. You can even join the chat room. Just as we have a chat room, they have a chat room. In fact, they very kindly, Tim and Don said a lot of the inspiration for what IT Pro TV came from Tech TV and from the TWiT network. If you're doing the team thing, you've got this fantastic pro portal that lets you track your team's results. You can manage seats, assign and unassigned team members, take a look at monthly usage reports, see metrics like logins, viewing time, courses viewed, tracks completed, and more. Not only a great way to keep up on what your team is doing with IT Pro TV, but also to prove to the management that you're getting a return on your investment, that these guys really are learning. It makes it very easy to manage your team. You can create subsets of users or subsets of teams, give them custom assignments, monitor progress, report on usage. The assignments can also be full courses, but they can also just be individual little snippets or individual episodes, which is great because you could say, you know, Joe, you really need to learn more about LDAP management. So take lesson 15 in the Microsoft LDAP course and come back to me and report in. That's how specific it can be. IT Pro TV is great because they love what they're doing. Don Pizzette, who's one of the founders, along with Tim Broom, does a podcast called TechNado. It's like Tornado with tech, TechNado, where you get industry gossip, news, IT pros. It's kind of a fun way to keep up on the business and to kind of learn a little bit about the business as you're taking these classes. We're coming up to the end of October. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. This would be a good month to learn a little bit about cybersecurity, and they have hundreds of hours of cybersecurity training. If you want to start a career in the IT industry or you want to keep your career flowing and going, you got to go to IT Pro TV. It's exactly what you need. Go to itpro.tv/twit. Use our offer code TWIT30. You'll get a great deal, 30% off all consumer subscriptions. itpro.tv/twit. Again, the offer code is TWIT30, and that's 30% off the consumer subscriptions as long as you stay active. That's a big, almost a third. That's a big savings. IT Pro TV. Build or expand your IT career and enjoy the journey with IT Pro TV. We thank Tim and Don and the whole IT Pro TV team for their support of the Tech Guy podcast, and we thank you for your support, too, because you're using that code. They'll know. itpro.tv/twit, offer code TWIT30. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. 88. Ask Leo the phone number. Guess what? Chris Marquardt just overslept, and he's going to join us. Well, I don't think it's overslept. That time change happened in Germany where he lives, but didn't happen here yet. So it's all confluggered, but we got it. And Chris will be joining us to talk digital photography in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, on with the show. Tom is next from Toledo, Ohio. Hello, Tom.
It's actually Tim.
Tim, hello, Tim.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you great.
Okay. I am trying to work. My mother-in-law is having memory issues, I'm trying to work on getting her to change channels on her TV at home. She has a flip phone, and getting her into the Googleverse.
Oh man, yeah.
With a flip phone.
Would she like to be able to ask for the show by name? Would that be the way she'd like to do it?
Actually, I think she's getting a little bit even beyond that because she's having trouble. I have devices over there. I can drop in on her and talk to her and stuff.
Nice.
But she's having trouble communicating with the device on her own. What I fell into was because she had a flip phone and I couldn't set her up on her own device, I set her up on my devices and put them in her house.
Okay.
And right now I can, through a hack or through just finding it on my own, I can tell her, my device to play music on her devices.
Oh, that's nice.
And it'll play music for her. She
That's
doesn't have
great.
To do the command. She doesn't have to remember anything. She doesn't have to do anything.
And you kind of know what she wants, so you can do it. That's
Right.
nice. Yeah.
70s disco is her thing. So,
Oh, wow. That's great.
That really gets her going and gets her happy. And
Yeah, sure. Disco's the most cheerful of all music. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So,
I'm trying to work her. I'm sorry.
With the TV, is it this that she might be watching something and say, I don't like this and wants to change the channel, or?
Exactly. And I've broken down her remote to just channel up, channel down, and on and off, and she even has to do that sometimes.
Perfect.
So what I'm wanting to do, and I'm thinking I'm heading in the right direction, is to get her an Amazon Fire device and probably a Fire Cube, which has an IR blaster that will help control her. She still has cable TV.
It's funny. That's exactly what I was going to suggest. Because she could talk to it. She could say, next. Next channel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm hoping, since I have control of her other devices from my house, if I set up under my name as well, that I might be able to control it from my house.
Oh.
There's an access point that way. It's dealing with somebody with memory issues and an older person with a flip phone. And like I said, trying to get them into the Amazon verse and the Google verse is kind of hard.
Oh, yeah. She's not going to learn anything new. Because she has no short-term memory, so she's not going to be able to.
Exactly. I think, with as many older people as we're getting, I would think Google and Amazon helping out younger people with older people would be a very good thing to do, but it's not. Right now, it's kind of hard.
So you'd like remote access for the Fire TV.
Exactly. I've done that. I'm a little bit of a geek, and I have.
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed that you were able to do the remote access for the Amazon. That's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of stumbled onto that, but I've had all kinds of devices. I've had the Harmony, and I've had other things, and all that's a little bit difficult to control from here at her house and getting the right connections up. And I'm thinking the Amazon device will work. But I just want to know if you'd heard anybody who had done that before.
I have not. The good news is they have a smartphone app that will work as your Fire TV remote. And I'm just trying to check here because there's two ways these apps can work. One is they can work over the internet, which means you could take it home with you. You could put it on your phone.
That would be fabulous. Like I said, I've done every TV there is except for Fire TV.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten into it yet. I'm thinking that.
It says, though, unfortunately, that you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network. You're not near hers, right? So you can't.
No, but I set up her other devices in her house with my phone, and that gives me access to her devices from my house right now.
Okay.
Even over like I can tell. I don't want to say the name, but I can tell my Amazon.
Your Echo. We call it an Echo. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's safe. Yeah.
Even that fires off some people's devices. But anyway, I tell my device to tell her device to play music. So I'm hoping that this will work on the Fire TV.
Yeah, I think it might not. I think because it's using the local Wi-Fi connection to get to the box.
Right.
The reason that your Echo works is because it goes over the internet. Let me keep looking. We got to take a break. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Okay. Dr. Mom is here. Dr. Mom says you reset up the Harmony, and because that's what Fire TV uses, the Harmony, and link it to the Amazon account the way you did the same thing. So she says, yes, you can do that because you're the way that you do this is, in fact, through Amazon.
Right.
Yeah. So since you're able to use your her Amazon account on your phone locally to change her Echo remotely, you should.
Actually, my Amazon account. Amazon.
She's on your account. That makes more sense. Yeah. So it's one of your Amazon devices. So Dr. Mom, if he puts that Fire TV on his account as one of his devices, you're saying he should be able to control it from his phone no matter where he is. Is that right, Dr. Mom? I'm just checking. She's our Echo expert. She messes with this stuff like crazy. Yeah, it looks like you can do it. In fact, I
was hoping for.
Yeah.
It's like I've been trying to do this for a while, and it's been hard to do it any other way.
Father has a drop in his Echo Fire. That's not a good way to do it. Somebody says, I have him hold down the voice search button on his remote, and I shout through his Echo.
I actually have Wi-Fi cameras and stuff on there, and they have microphones on them, and I've actually launched her Echo devices through the microphone.
So Dr. Mom says that's exactly it. You'll link it to your Amazon account, and then you can use the linked Echo to control Mom's TV.
I'm hoping this works out.
Yeah, that makes sense because you can use the Echo to control the Fire TV, right? And so you still have to set up the IR blaster and all of that, but you're going to do that anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Dr. Mom says yes.
Yeah, I was hoping that was the case. Like I said, I'm not heavy into the Fire TV arena yet, but I'm going there now. So
yeah, and the Cube is great because it just controls everything. So the real trick is to be able to add that Cube to your account so that you can control it remotely. I never tried that. That'd actually be kind of handy.
Yeah, I've been trying this for a long time, and I think that's the route.
Bless you. Yeah, my mother-in-law also severe Alzheimer's, and it's tough. I know how hard it is. It's very difficult.
She's not too severe yet, but we're trying to keep her in the house as long as we can.
Good.
Putting her in a nursing home at this time is not a great idea either.
Well, no kidding. Holy cow. Yeah. We ended up getting, she had her husband with her. He took care of her, but they also got they had a little outhouse, so they were able to get a live-in aide to move in there. To give him some.
We're working on getting her at least daily aid.
Yeah.
A couple hours a day and stuff and other things, but I'm hoping this will help out a lot.
Good. Well, it's tough, I know. But thank you, Tim.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're a good man. All right.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. I've been listening for 10 years. So.
Thanks. Well, you are a geek. Thanks, Tim. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Look who's here. He's Chris Marquardt, the photo guy. Once again, the time change strikes again. In Europe, their summertime ended this past weekend, this morning, in fact. But our summertime, daylight saving time, as we call it in the States, ends next week. You know why?
No, tell me.
America's candy makers lobbied to have the time change after Halloween so that there'd be an extra hour to gather candy. And
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding. They convinced George W. Bush and the U.S. Congress to, there's always the little, it's good for the energy or something, which none of this is true. But it was the candy makers and the sporting good manufacturers love daylight saving time.
So it's the candy maker's fault that so I can blame them from now on. That's okay.
Because we used to be on the same schedule as you, but we moved ours back a week because the candy makers wanted it to be the day after Halloween.
Okay.
Which it is this year.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's talk photography.
Isn't that annoying? Isn't that annoying?
Is wild.
Chris is our photo guy. He's actually technically our photo sensei. Sensei, if you watch Karate Kid, is the teacher, and his site sensei.photo is where you can get coaching, training, learn photography. Since he's not doing his workshops during the quarantine, this is a great place for him to help all of us become better photographers. He joins us every week to do that as well. And we have another topic, I like this one.
Yeah, today I want to talk a bit about telephoto and wide angle and what those do to photos. So
it's very timely because Apple has released a new camera, and they continue to say for some reason, I don't understand, they call their lenses ultra wide, wide, and telephoto.
Yeah, their telephoto is kind of pushing it a bit.
It's not telephoto. It's a little long.
It is, yeah.
And their wide is really normal.
Right. And the interesting thing is what those things do from an artistic point of view when you take a photo. Because a lot of people will go, I need a zoom lens so I can use the telephoto because I don't want to walk and I can just fill the frame with things easier. And that's, of course, one way to use it or to get wildlife close in the photo because it would not stay where it is when you get closer. So there are reasons why you want to use a telephoto lens. And of course, what it does is it changes what we call the field of view, the angle of view. You pretty much cut out something from your field of view. The things that you see with your eye is pretty wide angle. And then the telephoto just takes a tiny little bit of that and makes it bigger.
Yeah, and if you have a phone that has these multiple lenses, you know that because when you go to the ultra wide, suddenly you're seeing everything. Right. And when you go to telephoto, it narrows it down. We kind of think of it as zooming in, but it also narrows it down.
It narrows it down. So when you bring up some of the photos, the one thing you will see is that the telephoto lens will also increase the bokeh. What's behind the thing that's in focus is going to be out of focus.
So this is a good example. This is a picture from a pier.
Exactly.
And there's a lamp on the pier, and then there's a boat in the distance, which is it's in the the blurry bokeh.
Right. And that's an important thing because that can help you kind of distinguish between those when you look at them because wide-angle shots don't have that. We'll look at a few wide-angle shots later too. The other thing that telephoto does, it brings things visually together that are far away.
Well, yeah,
so if you look at the next one,
flattens the picture a little bit.
It does. It makes things that are far away look almost the same size as things that are closer. So if you look at the next one, there's two cable cars that are certainly not really that close. The photo after that is even more of a telltale. There's two airplanes in the air that look like they are colliding, but
obviously
they are not.
Yeah.
They are not on the same plane. They are behind each other, but they look because it's a telephoto lens. Next one is even more dramatic. It looks like 4 airplanes are crashing into each other, which is some of the airplane show thing. And no, they are not. They are on different planes. They are not even close to each other, but they look that way.
So they do. You use telephoto lenses in movies a lot to do this exact thing, to kind of flatten.
Yeah.
Flattens.
Next one is even more dramatic. It's the Fifth Avenue shot straight over the crowd, and the cars in the background, the people in the foreground, they are maybe a mile apart, but the telephoto makes it look like it's all close together.
Very cinematic. You've seen this scene in 100 movies. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, if you go to the next one, that is a good example for things that telephoto does with parallel lines. You see the lavender fields on that photo, but it's shot with a telephoto lens. So the photographer has stepped back and taken that shot from further away, zoomed in, and that keeps those lines fairly parallel. If you compare that with the shot after that, which is a wide-angle shot of the same thing, you will see a dramatic difference because wide-angle makes those lines converge like crazy. So you have these much more of an exaggeration of depth. And telephoto doesn't do that. It kind of puts everything on the same plane. So
very interesting. Yeah.
And that's another thing that wide angle does. It puts the foreground really close to you and the background really far away. If you scroll down a bit to that photo with the ice in the front, that's a good landscape photo that demonstrates that. We have an ice scape in front of mountains, and the ice in the front is big boulders and big shards of ice, frozen lake, and the mountain in the back is tinier than some of those ice shards because the depth of field, or not the depth of field, the depth in the shot is so exaggerated because it's a wide angle. So that is one of the things you can do if you want something close up, be really important in a shot. Use a wide angle lens and get really close. That will make that thing in the front so much more dramatic looking.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot. And see, this is a really important educational piece for me because I just think of the zoom as getting closer to the subject or farther from the subject, but it does. It has a lot of impact on what the picture
changes
looks
how
like.
it looks.
Yeah.
If you bring up the last picture in that album, that is the extreme. We're looking at what's called a fisheye lens, which is a wide angle put to the max. It's as wide angle as it gets, and they even give up the straight lines, and all the lines are curved. We kind of know this look from the action cameras. They all do that a bit. So you get these curved lines, but in turn you get so much on the photo. You get such dramatic photos sometimes. And if you combine that with what the photographer's done here, used a long exposure to get the lights of the cars into light streaks. That together with a night exposure and a fisheye lens, that is drama. There's a lot of drama in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Looks like Tokyo. I don't know where it is, but that's a great picture.
It's Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Okay.
It's in Hong Kong.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that's I think the message I want to tell is exactly what you just said. The focal length, the zooming of the photo, that is not just to make things bigger or smaller. It is to add a certain effect to it. So if you want a certain effect to a photo, maybe something like that would look better as a wide angle. So that's when you just walk closer and use a wide angle and get more drama in the shot.
Good point. You can walk and make the picture closer.
That's what
farther.
The legs are made for.
Yeah, and then use the lens. I've seen I think it was on YouTube, a good video about how filmmakers use different length lenses in their filmmaking to create different emotional feelings and so forth. Yes. And of course, we remember when there were all those pictures, Jay reminded me in the chat room, of people on the beaches. Often they use telephoto lenses to make all those people look jammed together when in fact they were safely socially distanced.
Exactly.
Yeah. Chris Marquardt, he's the best. Sensei, SENSEI.photo. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. And I did last hour tell everybody the assignment smoke.
Perfect.
But I will, I'll do it again just in case. Great, Chris.
Perfect.
Thank you. Now remember, next week we change.
Same time as usual next week, and I'll even be around next weekend, so everything's gonna be okay. So, all right. No drama next week.
Okay, good luck on your candy for Halloween.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care, Chris. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for letting me do this. I tell you what, I have the best job in the world. And it's, of course, because I get to work with the greatest people in the world. Professor Laura, our musical director, with her baton. Take your bow. Thank you. Also, Kim Schaffer, our phone angel. She's going to be flapping on home in a few minutes as we wrap the show up. But the most important part of the show is you. I thank you for listening. I thank you for calling. It's a real privilege to get to talk tech with you each week, and I hope I'll see you again next week. Let's get a couple more calls in before I get to go home. Mark in L.A. is next. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Leo. I'm glad that you my call.
You just made it, Mark. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for hanging on. I appreciate it.
Usually I can't even get on to get in the queue.
It's hard to get in. I know.
Yeah. Okay, appreciate it. Anyways, so we have a small management company. It's like 5 of us.
Okay.
And right now, everything, all the files are on local.
Yeah.
And all we need is Excel and Word. nothing fancy.
Okay.
We would like to eventually, I would like to dump everything into, like, for instance, Google Drive. But if we do that and we start using each other's files, Google doesn't announce that, hey, someone's using, Mr. B is working on this file, so that there's not going to be a conflict or a duplicate or
Actually, it does. So my suggestion for you, we do this. The reason I know is we do exactly that at my podcast company. There's about 20 employees. We use Google Sheets. That's their spreadsheet alternative to prepare the shows, to do what we call rundowns. We use Google's word processor to write proposals and presentations. We use Gmail for mail. But the way we do it is, they used to call it G Suite. Now they have a new name. Google just can't sit still. I can't remember what the new name is for G Suite. But now you pay for this, but there's a real benefit to paying for it. It becomes this Workspace is the new name, even worse, right? Workspace.google.com. But it's designed for a team. You'll have team email. You can even have it be, for instance, our mail is not at gmail.com. It's mail.twit.tv. It's actually through, it looks like it's our own email, even though it is Gmail. You can share documents. Each person has their own account. And that's important. See, what you were suggesting is we use one global account, and you're right. Then you all look like the same person. But if you all have your own account logged into your G Suite or your Workspace, then you can see who's in any document at any time. You can see them making changes. The changes are in real time. Your changes that will be in real time, they'll see those. You can have ownership permissions. You can say this person can look but not edit. This person can edit. This person can add new people. It really is a very simple and easy way to do it. I am extremely happy with Workplace or whatever they call Workspace.
Since you mentioned that it was a paid service, then what I'm wary about Google Drive. I mentioned Google Drive just to start off the conversation. I'm open to other ones, but the one with Google Drive. It's not Excel, and it's series of sheets. And then I find that sometimes when it's converting, or it's kind of like different. So
So if you wanted to stay in Excel, you certainly could save Excel format files there, but you don't get that same, here's who's looking at it, here's the change. But Microsoft offers a very similar service that uses the Microsoft Office instead, and it uses OneDrive as your storage, not Google Drive. And that you might feel more comfortable if you want to stay in the Microsoft universe. Microsoft has a very similar offering. In fact, I would guess Google created this in competition with Microsoft, right? So SharePoint is probably the thing you want to look at. But Microsoft, the hard thing about Microsoft is they have 100 different offerings, but they're very business focused. And I think SharePoint is probably what you want to do. It's collaborative. It integrates with Microsoft Office. You can go to a third party and have them be your SharePoint provider, or you could do it through Microsoft. I would suggest just visiting Microsoft, reading up on SharePoint, and then typically what you'll do is find a third party that's your SharePoint provider, and they do all the integration. But you could do it through Microsoft as well.
Very good.
So I think that's, if you're already using Microsoft tools and you want that kind of capability, then I think SharePoint is exactly what you need.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, my pleasure. Glad to help you. It's nice I'm glad you got through, Mark. Who do you said you do management. Do you manage people?
No, buildings. We have
buildings. Okay.
50 condominiums and
perfect.
Things like that. So
this is more and more common. This is one of the best reasons to moving to the cloud. Especially people who are working from home. You're not even in the same office anymore. It makes it much easier to collaborate and work together. This is one of the things that's really powered the move to cloud computing, I think. And we've been doing it practically, I think, since I started the podcast networks. So, probably 10 years at least. Last call of the day, Harold in West Covina, California. Hello, Harold.
Hi, Leo, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a question about a new cell phone I purchased. I'll make it quick. I was looking for a budget phone and got a unlocked Samsung A01.
Okay.
The phone works fine, except for one item. It won't receive texts. It sends them fine, but will not receive them. And I moved the SIM back from the new Samsung to an old phone, and all those texts started rolling in.
Oh, that's not good.
I put the EMI in my cell phone provider's website. It says it's 100% compatible.
Yeah. Who's your carrier?
Mint Mobile.
Okay. So you probably could call Mint support, and they would help you. Almost certainly, this happens from time to time. The data portion in your settings is misconfigured. It's not set up for Mint Mobile. So if you go into settings and you go into connections, you'll see that there is an area where you can talk about cell data. Make sure it's turned on, obviously. I think it probably is. But then there also will be, and this is usually for web data. It would be for MMS, multimedia messages, not typically SMS, although it may be that Mint Mobile uses, I bet you they do, in fact, use data for SMS. So you want to make sure your data settings for Mint Mobile are correct.
Yeah, that's all correct, and the data works fine. MMS works fine also.
It does work. It's just SMS.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a really interesting question. I should mention Mint Mobile is a sponsor. I'm a big fan. In fact, I use it. It's on this phone right here in front of me, and I haven't had a problem. So I wonder if it's not the APN settings. There's a. Have you gone? Mint Mobile has a site set up for Android. mintmobile.com/setup-for-Android. Did you get the phone from Mint Mobile, or you brought your own phone?
I brought my own.
Yeah. So it's very possible that the settings need the access point names need to be set. It's weird too. The name is Ultra. The APN is Wholesale. It's bizarre. So
yes, it is.
So you've gone through all those settings and checked them. Then the only thing you can do, I guess, is call Mint. There might be something else that I'm not familiar with. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. This was not unusual, but you obviously talked to somebody and you figured all of this out. Wholesale, isn't that a funny name?
Yeah, I did talk to Mint. They said, I put in the email, it says 100% compatible. The guy said, well, that's not 100% right all the time.
Oh, I'm sure it works with the A10. That seems odd.
It's an A01, not an A10.
Oh, A01, okay.
Yeah, a lower-end phone.
It's possible it's not, I guess. So that's all he could say is maybe it's not compatible?
Yeah, at first he tried running me through the APN, and I came to the conclusion after all that, hey, I've had flip phones in the past before we even had data. I don't think SMS is using the data portion.
Well, it didn't for a long time. That's kind of what I was saying is, SMS used to be basically part of the phone service. But my guess is more modern carriers are not using POTS for SMS. They're not using they're using data for everything. And that's why you're getting data and you're getting MMSs. That's weird that you're not getting SMSs.
Yeah.
And you're getting zero.
Nothing comes in, but when I put the SIM in another phone, they all start rolling in.
Yeah, so maybe it isn't compatible.
Mm.
Yeah, I think he's telling you it's not. Yeah,
I'm kind of thinking. Well, yeah, I thought about that too. I'm thinking, SMS is a pretty old technology.
It's a really old technology. It can't be much longer that it's going to stick around, but it sounds like they use T-Mobile's network, so
yes,
they're kind of maybe limited to whatever T-Mobile is doing, and it may be T-Mobile being a kind of more modern carrier has said, no, we're not going to support SMS anymore. Sounds like the phone is an issue, though. In fact, if it is SMS and that phone doesn't have the right... Sometimes with Samsung phones, they sell phones all over the world, and any given Samsung phone is set up for that region. So if you don't have a U.S. Samsung phone, but maybe you have the Middle East one or the Asia-Pacific one.
Yeah, I think I have a Spanish one. I got it off eBay. And
that's what happened. So that means they have the radios for Spain or Latin America. I bet you it's Latin America.
Yeah.
And so LTAM. So you can tell if you actually go online, and so when you, so clearly their EMEI checker did not consider different regions. Mm-hmm. So if you can go into your phone about this phone and find out exactly what model it is, and you can look it up. And I bet you that's what the problem is that radio doesn't have the right radio for SMS in our region.
Oh, that might be.
I've had that happen, and that's the risk of buying these phones, unlocked phones. Sometimes, especially with Samsung, because they make models for every region of the world, you get one that's not for this region. And that's exactly what will happen is there'll be some limitations on what you can do. It may not be SMS. It may be that T-Mobile does use data for SMS, but they do it on a particular frequency that's not built into your phone or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a radio incompatibility. I don't know what to say except try to get a U.S. model.
Yeah, well, I'm going to just send it back.
Send it back. Okay, good. And then they have good deals. I use an iPhone SE from Mint Mobile, $15 a month. It's a great deal, and this is a nice little phone.
Yeah,
and it works fine. I can promise you.
Okay.
I'm sorry that happened. I think now that since you think you have it was in Spanish when you got it was Latin American model. That's almost certainly what happened.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWiT, TWiT. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on MacBreak Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.